The Coffee County Commission's latest purchase is, well, it's causing a bit of a stink. The presidential election is over, but that does not mean that everybody is happy with the outcome. In fact, one local woman is so unhappy, she may have taken things a little too far. The power of this storm is almost unimaginable, but that did not stop some volunteers with the local American Red Cross from packing up this morning and racing to help. The reality is there's so many families, that's the last thing on their mind. They're just worried about having a Thanksgiving meal for their children. And the only way that you can make sure that those kids and these families have the memories and the wonderful traditions that maybe you're enjoying and possibly even taking for granted this time of year is to donate.
Well, you're good at this.
Thanks, that works. Thank you, Red.
That's News 4 at 5. Thanks for being here.
We'll see you at 6. Did you just say kind of? Well, it's starting to cool down now, but it was definitely hot this year. Actually, it was really hot. And even with 2 debates still to come, some local folks say they already know who they want to vote for. Milk does a body good, but maybe not for your bank account. In today's For Your Health, do you ever wish your significant other would do just a little more work around the house? Well, who doesn't, right? And Devin, I'm looking at you. Are you sure you're in the right place? Because all I see are garbage bags. Millions of Americans are out of work and looking for jobs. Here in Alabama, that story is no different. A nation is heartbroken. Tonight, a shooter goes on a rampage in a Connecticut grade school, killing at least 27 people, mostly children. If children do have questions about what happened, parents are probably wondering how can they answer them and kind of ease their worries. How would you suggest doing that? Could what you eat determine your mood for the day? I know it does for me.
It does.
If you've ever had your husband, I know I have, I've asked him to go to the store and get a couple of things, and he comes back with the wrong things. And instead of keeping them in your pantry and just staring at them, bring them to us, because the families who need these items aren't picky. They're just looking for their next lunch or dinner. So what do you do when everyone is telling you to stay home until the storm passes? Apparently, you download movies. This election day will go down in history for people in hurricane-battered areas. Thousands still don't have power. Before we went out tonight, we talked about the Northeast and the situation after Sandy and now this nor'easter. People living in a small Alabama border town say it was like being stranded on a desolate island for more than a month. And you're pretty popular. Did I see Batman with you? Well, go ahead and fill up that coffee mug because caffeine may help you recognize positive words. Less than 24 hours after the 2 presidential candidates squared off in a heated debate, both were back on the stump in battleground states today. Well, back to the election now. Of course, CBS News is going to have all of your up-to-date results when it comes to the big one, the presidential election. But there are a lot of local and statewide races going on as well. And for those results, just head to WTVY.com. We actually want to run you through a quick tutorial to show you just how simple it is to get those results. And now Hershey's delivers the sensation of the smooth dark chocolate patty with a burst of peppermint in the middle.
It's pretty cool.
I could do the commercial for that.
Yeah.
Sounds like you should.
Well,
my director, Robbie, said I sold it. He wants one, though. The Dothan City Jail had to evacuate this afternoon after a fire broke out in one of the cell blocks. CBS's CSI is one of the most watched shows on television, and crime scene investigation has also become a pretty popular elective class at Enterprise High School. Toyota is recalling more than 7 million vehicles, the company's largest recall to date. We usually talk about all of the new aspects every year at the Peanut Festival, being the new rides, new food items to try. You're going to see some other new things that we haven't talked about really that much until now. First, when you walk in, you're going to see some signs with a nice little play on words that say, "It's nuts to not recycle." A Wiregrass community is in mourning tonight. A recent Zion Chapel High School graduate has lost her battle with cystic fibrosis. So did Nate convince you to get on the tornado yet? It may be the only Coffee County Commission contest on the ballot this year, but the District 5 race has some intrigue. Bottoms up, because today is National Cappuccino Day. I have an espresso machine, never opened. Maybe tonight is the night. That looks pretty good. Hey, thanks for joining us for News 4 at 5 today. We're going to be right back here for News 4 at 6. Margaret Evans knew she should have looked at the user's manual to her new camera. You see, if there was ever a time that she needed to capture a moment, Well, it was now.
I'm meeting my sister Pam for the first time and my brother's son, Justin.
She was 23 when she had her. This first meeting is the end of a very long, dedicated road for Margaret. She was born in Rhode Island and adopted just 8 days later. Margaret now lives in Rehoboth and has spent years trying to find her biological family. Last year, she got a little help from the government and an angel.
Eventually last year, Rhode Island decided to turn adoption birth certificates over to the adoptees over 25, and I applied for it, and I received it July the 5th. I have a friend named Angel Fisher from Ozark. She did census records. Just this year, the 1940 census came out, and we went to the 1930 census, and I called libraries, and we called city halls, and it just one thing after another until we found her.
At approximately 2:10 in the afternoon of August 30th, Margaret's wait was finally over. We should point out Margaret's parents married 2 years after she was born. They had a son, Tom, and a daughter, Pam. Margaret was meeting her full sister and nephew.
I always wanted a sister. I did. I always wanted one my whole life. Now I have one. You have one. I'm so happy.
While Pam finally got that sister she wished for, sadly Margaret's brother, Tom, would never get the chance to meet her. But not because he didn't try.
My dad knew that he had a sister out there. And before he passed away, it was one of his, things he wanted to do was meet his sister, and he couldn't be here today because he's gone.
He revealed that he was actively searching for her. I said, oh my God, wow.
I know.
And he really went all out to try to find her before he died.
I see my dad in the face. I see his teeth and chin.
So with a handful of tissues and a new sister and nephew, Margaret took her family home to Rehoboth for the next week and a half. Their plans? Well, to do the things that sisters and families do. Catch up, play cards, and just enjoy being together. We're glad Margaret figured out how to use that camera because we're sure she's going to have plenty of magical moments to capture.